We are live, Laura. We did it.
I know, right in the nick of time.
Woo! Yes, guys. Hello, and welcome. This is Whimsical Wednesdays with myself, Amelia Love, and the amazing Laura Eisenhower. Now, we've had a bit of AI issues, and I'm very new to this technology. So if there's anything weird going on, if there's a big duck stuck above my head or anything random going on, just know, guys, it's because I don't know how to use this, but I'm learning very fast. So, Laura, isn't this amazing? We're here. We did it.
I know. My main computer's in the shop. I'm going to have much better tech abilities for the next show, but it's so great to be here with you. I'm so excited about what we're pulling together here. And yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm assuming that our live is streaming. It says it's streaming. I'm here in comments. Can't post comments to custom destination. So I can't post comments, but I should be able to receive some. So hopefully you guys that are watching this right now, drop a hello, drop a welcome to Laura, her first time on PPN. And hopefully I'm going to be able to see them. I don't see anything just yet, that's all. So I'm not sure, won't be able to show viewer comments, learn more. So I will see what's happening with that, and we will learn as we go. But for now, I'm going to assume that the whole of PPN can see myself and Laura, that this is streaming nice and clear. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the world. And we're not going to shy away from it. Anyone who doesn't know myself and Laura, we do not shy away from speaking the truth and from saying what needs to be said. We're not scared of the dark. We're very conscious of its abilities, but we're not scared of it. And so we are prepared to say what needs to be said, and we really want to support those that are listening. So is there anything coming up for you right now, Laura, that you feel like people need to hear?
Wow. I know everybody's going through a whole lot of stuff. It's a really, really intense time right now as far as the showdown of forces are concerned. And anybody that can get through these times where sabotaging and attacking influences might, attempt to derail, if you can just keep breathing through it and getting back up and picking yourself back up, those forces are going to expire because they're not running from regenerative energies of spirit and earth and everything that we're truly made of. They're really running on technology, dark technology, and vampiric type of technology, and they really rely on feeding off of people that buy into the narratives that they steer. So as long as we can stay strong and just keep breathing through it, we're almost on the other side of a very huge hurdle. We have an incredible conjunction with the North Node, Mars and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. I won't get into it, but it's just major right now. So if everybody's feeling whoa, and you being taken to your breaking point, just know that it's gonna, those dark forces are gonna get exhausted at the fact that we know how to alchemize, transform, and get back up and keep on going and keep on laughing. So anyway, what about you? What about you in your world, Amelia?
I just find it so interesting. As you were talking towards the end, there was interference on your microphone because they really hate the fact that you just know how to exactly pinpoint their weaknesses. I was saying exactly the same thing with a client today. I was saying, look, don't worry. There's a certain place in hell where there's a war room, and they have a certain amount of energy that they can use, and they see who the brightest lights are, and they send dark to try and pull them down. But when it doesn't succeed, they give up and move on to someone else. We're exhausting them right now.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah. Yes. And the thing is that that's why perseverance. Anyone who's watching this, write down the word perseverance. Okay. One of the things your ego, your inner shadow will try and tell you to try and make you feel low is that what you're going through now is going to continue for the next 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. And when you think about that, you'll be like, I can't do that. I'm going to break. Here's the thing. You're not going to be going through that. It's this moment. Just like what Laura said. It's this moment. And we can breathe through this moment. We can hold together. That's why I've been guided by God for me and Laura to do is to literally come here and hold hands with you. We're here holding on with you. We're holding on with you. But we're also telling you that it's like, imagine a petrol station, a gas station. It has a certain amount of gas. There's a certain amount, and they are trying to use what they have to cause as much destruction and negative impact as possible, disrupt as much AI as they can, activate as many sleeper agents and people that have got deep, deep wounds that haven't done the healing and won't do the healing. They're trying to do all of this right now, guys. And here's the thing. They just run out. And I watch them run out every day. Someone will try and pay an invoice and it won't work 3 times. Now, a regular person would be like, oh, maybe it's not meant to be, because that's how the devil loves to work. But the 4th time it goes through, then they do the program and now their life's changed forever. It was those 3 times. That's as much energy as they had, was to block those 3. By the 4th, they were like, if they're going to do it, let's just let them do it. We can't stop them. They're unstoppable. Just like today, Laura, just like today. Isn't today? Do you want to tell them what happened today, to give them an example of the unstoppableness that it took to have me and you, our voices and our faces together on this screen?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes it just feels like, man, when it comes to obstacles and when it comes to adversity, I mean, we get stronger in the face of it. Everything that's coming at us is pulling us into a greater strength. It's forcing us to grab and reclaim our treasures. So in the face of all these obstacles, we can actually thrive and be that override frequency. So when we drop down into the battle mode, though, or the fight or flight and kind of anxiety, fear response, then we're kind of like on that lower level. But when we can like have that calmness and laughter and just like, we totally got this, and we know what kind of deal, we know the game that's being played here, but we're just, not gonna quit. It's like treading water, being able to play the didgeridoo. It's just like you can just circulate the energy and just like maintain a sort of stability within your own divine center to be able to move through all those crazy currents that are literally trying to suck you under and drown you. And so this is like what it takes to gain self-mastery again. We're learning to become our mastery self again. And all these challenges we don't need to be victimized by. We can look at it as an opportunity to find that strength that we maybe didn't think we had. And so in the times of these kind of challenges, it's always fun to be like, oh yeah, I got it. We're going to pull it out and we're going to bring it in and we're going to make it happen. And it was so funny because right at the last minute, boom, here we both are on camera. And again, my tech stuff will be better next week. I'll have a more professional background. I'm holding my phone right here, but yeah, it's just like, and we gain strength and then we fly over the obstacles and we do flip and somersaults like a gymnast over the obstacles instead of hitting our head against it and being victimized by it and playing into the defeat and just like giving up. We never give up. We can't be stopped.
We can't be stopped. We never give up. And that's what me and Laura said. We were trying and working for like 15 minutes before we came on. And like I said, at the moment, we can see you and hear you, which we didn't know whether we'd be able to do. They are messing with your audio a bit, and there may not be anything we can do about that. But I completely agree with you. It's like right now, if you can just imagine like you are on a ship and it's in a storm, but you have a comfortable cabin, you have food and water, you have a choice while you're going through these waves. You can kind of sit there cross-legged on the bed and just breathe and just be there. Just be there. Be like, well, I've got food and water. I'm in a big, strong ship. I'm good. Like, I'm good. And just be in that space. Or you can go out on the top of the ship and be in the middle of the howling winds and scream your head off. Oh, my God. You can choose how you respond to this. The reality is, though, the storm doesn't last forever. The next morning, the ocean is calm again. And so isn't it better to stay in that calm space while we go through this? And I love what you said about being the overriding frequency, because I believe that's part of what me and Laura's job down here is to do, is to what we do is that whenever the dark does anything, we learn from what we learn, don't we? That's why the dark really has a bit of a special place for us, is because whatever it does, we study it. So I encourage you out there watching this and listening to when the dark does something, when something negative happens, don't just learn from it in the kind of life coaching, or learn from your problems. Don't repeat the cycles, patterns, which is wonderful. It's great. But let's actually go a stage deeper and a stage further, where we're actually starting to understand the enemy. We're starting to understand how the darkness works, because then you can outsmart it. It's smart, but you are smarter.
Brilliant. Oh my goodness, right? And it goes down to all the things that we did as children, like the games that we play. Even, and I don't want to go into video games or anything, but I mean, this is how you raise the bar. It's kind of, I don't want to go into the cliches of a chessboard, but I mean, this is where we get to see the miracle vibration and essence of something coming in that is beyond the duality, that can just all of a sudden, crush something that might be duking it out, right? So if there's a showdown of forces and it's us against them, yeah, that's going to be a tiresome battle. But when there's this other essence, though, that connects with light, love, spirit, truth, sovereignty, being really integrated with the divine blueprint of all that we are, then all of a sudden these dualistic players become, they begin to spin, and they begin to alchemize, they begin to integrate, and that integration of polarity is what creates conception, and that birthing is what we're doing within our being in order to create new realities. And so we're knocking out all the parasitic psyops that are infecting our creative channels, that are literally enabling artificial timelines to be constructed. When we call that power back and we allow the integration of polarity, we are able to produce something that knocks out, nullifies, and destroys the dark technologies and all the different things that we feel maybe threatened by or up against constantly. So it's interesting, because we win the war within ourselves. So when we recognize the light and dark within ourselves that are duking it out, and we begin to bring in the unconditional love, and we begin to bring in that ether energy, and we really begin to bring in that 0 point unified energy, and we find this place of being able to
just say that, Laura, Chaz is calling me. So let me see. Is there something going on, Chaz? I'm live. We are live, but are you not seeing us? Can you see us? Has something gone wrong? Me and Laura are on here chatting away. I'm not sure. So if you could please tell me, all I can see my end is that my StreamYard is live. And we've been having some technical issues, guys, in case you are able to see me. Are we looking good there, Chaz?
You're live.
I am?
Yep, you're set.
I am on now. I'm very, very sorry, guys, that that this has been delayed. Okay, then, Chaz. So I'll send the link to Laura, and we will get going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, 1 second, guys. It is now working, Laura. I am about to send you an email with the link. Okay, bear with me, guys. We have had so much trouble that I don't think you can even comprehend how much trouble we've had. It's been special. Okay, so bear with me. I am just sending this over to Laura Eisenhower right now. And now I'm back. There we go. Gosh, so I'm going to give you guys, let me just tell her now, check email. And I'm hoping she'll be able to come in. So just so you guys know, we actually were on for 15 minutes having the most amazing conversation. And then Chaz called and said, it's not going to BPN. We're like, who are we talking to? And we guess we're just talking to each other. So let's just see. I've sent the email. I'm triple checking that it's gone through, that she's got it, that it's gone through. And again, I know I'm in front of a lot of people, but I just want to make sure we get this right. We've had a bit of a moment so far, as you can imagine, to be 45 minutes late. So it has been sent. And so I hope everybody's doing well. Now, I don't see the comments in the sides. I don't know if you're able to make comments. Please do try. And we are going to work through all these kinks. Now, the thing to know, guys, is that when you battle darkness and when you're like someone who's spreading lots of love and light, AI will try to mess with you. It really will. And that is what you guys are witnessing. Even the subject matter that me and Laura were talking about, in that 15 minutes that we thought we were broadcasting, it was all about why does this happen and what is going on for everybody in the world. So I'm just waiting to see if Laura can jump in with me, which would be wonderful. I really, really hope she can. We managed to get her on before, but to actually give you guys the litany of things, we've had everything from mics not working, audio not working, and then eventually the actual broadcast not getting to you guys. Link isn't even really working, she just told me. Oh, Lord. Trying to see what's up with my computer. Oh, dear. Guys, well, I'm here. I just want you to know that at 5 o'clock on the dot, we went live. I had Laura's voice. I had her face. We were here. We've been doing this and we've been talking about everything that's going on. I'm going to try and do a summary. Now, honestly, Laura has a way with words that's so extraordinary that you just have to hear it to believe it, to see it. Let me just see. I'm only responding if this is, oh, hold on. We've got another link here to try and send to Laura. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if that helps. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So yes, what we've been talking about is the fact that a lot of people are going through a difficult time right now, okay? And there's a reason why God has guided me to do this weekly show with Laura, for us to be able to explore the more weird and wonderful aspects of the world, the things that not everybody's talking about, the things that if you talk about it with your friends, they'll think you're a complete crazy person. Well, we talk about it over here. We even explain why it happens. And like I said, Laura is incredible at explaining anything to do with multi-dimensional things, the reason why darkness is doing what it's doing down here, all the stuff. She is amazing at that. So even if we don't get too much done in this show, I just want you guys to know that it's real. I will be showing up every Wednesday. I will have Laura with me. And AI has given us a beating today. We can actually admit it. We have gone through 45 minutes. They beat Laura up. They beat Chaz up with trying to get me into this broadcast. They've been really going hard. But guess what? It's not going to stop us. We're still going to be here next week and the week after and the week after. So I just want you guys to know, and again, I can't see your comments. I can't see the chat. I don't know why, but we will get everything figured out. And I just want you to know, that basically the main lesson that we covered so far in the 15 minutes that we were on was the fact that things are going to be okay, but things are a little rough right now. And if we can just admit that they're a bit rough and that we need a bit of extra support and that we need to be present. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so Laura's still trying to get in. So I think what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'll give a summary of, 1 second, I'm just going to voice note it to her. Okay, Laura, I'm going to give them a summary of what we were covering because I am actually live to the channel now. He managed to get me in. So if you can jump in, we don't need to carry on for long. But if you can get in, please do try. I am definitely in front of everybody. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Isn't this wild? We ain't giving up. We ain't giving up. Nope.
Oh, honey. So I was trying to sort of start to summarize what we said in that wonderful 15 minutes that flowed so beautifully. And I figure if we can just try and replay that part and go over what we said, and then we'll end on the top of the hour. But next week we will be back and we will be gunning and we will be even more unstoppable. But I was trying to explain to them that you have a way of explaining things that's just at a whole different level. And I really just wonder if you might be able to give them a bit of a recap about what we were covering.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And your sound is better now. Your sound is better.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah. No, I was just, gosh. I'm going to be a lot more grounded, and the tech stuff's going to be a lot better next week. But no, it was just really about, we're in this showdown of forces. We have to recognize that the forces are within us, and when we can integrate them a bit and just create some level of conception and align ourselves with our creative imagination 0-point unified field to like bring in a better story than the stupid scripts that we're being given through all these psyops and false narratives and just all these different tactics to divide us. And we are incredible vessels that can birth and generate a magnificent timeline. And so we got to remind each other of that.
Yes. One of the things I loved what you were saying was you were explaining why what we're up against is going to run out of steam. The fact that it's not drawing from anywhere that's going to. Do you want to explain that bit again as well? That was really good.
Well, I always like to bring it back to ourselves, like within our own being. I think when we have behavior patterns that aren't really working for us, they're not helping us to experience like true love or a feeling of balance and wholeness and happiness and or contentment or some sort of thing in life. The part of us that expires can sometimes be that negative ego that might be like, wanting control, wanting to be in charge, or falling at the other edge of the spectrum, which might be like totally insecure or like completely wounded and doesn't feel worthy, So there's a point in which these subpersonalities expire, because in this lower dimensional harmonic universe of the personality matrix, these things don't have a lot of ability to sustain themselves unless they keep looping. And that's what we're seeing throughout history, right? It's like, let's keep looping on the same kind of patterning that keeps us from ascending or evolving. And when we can cross that threshold and override that and go into a deeper place, it can help that part of us that might be in that struggle or battle to become much more that like maybe a peacemaker, or like I'm just gonna walk away from this, or it's not worth my time, or there's certain battles that aren't worth fighting, and after a certain point, what are we really battling? We're battling ourselves. So it's a war on consciousness, and we can only win it within ourselves. And to me, the ultimate victory is in recognizing that I don't know, there's got to be a point in which these dualistic forces we can embrace on a more organic level, instead of being fed all the different narratives and propagandas that come at us that infect our creative energies to generate these artificial timelines and these future scenarios that we don't need to participate in, because they're literally harvesting our creative imagination and messing with our heads in order to use the vital life force of, our feelings, our emotions, our reactions to different events that we see in the world. And it's just like, we got to bring it back to center. We got to bring it back to Mother Earth. We got to bring it back to I could just go on, and everybody, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm like,
no, Laura, you are incredible. You're incredible. I'm going to give a bit more of a recap because that was amazing. So what we were actually doing is we were saying that basically right now people are struggling. We want to support. Me and Laura are doing this every Wednesday so that we can support, so that we can talk about the things that other people are a little bit scared to talk about. They're a little bit on the weird and wonderful side. Me and Laura will just go all up in there, and we are fearless about it. We're not scared of the dark, and we've actually spent quite a lot of time learning about it, and so we're able to speak from a different kind of perspective to help people with coping with this time on the planet. Now, this time on the planet, a lot of people are struggling because there's a lot of heavy energy, it's very dense, and there's a lot of spiritual attacks. And if you don't understand that you're being spiritually attacked, you can't defend against it because you don't know you're being attacked. And so there's so much going on. And what we want to do is shed light on that, shed knowledge on that, shed love onto that, so that we can come through this together, we can hold hands together as humanity, and we can move through this space. Because the most important message that we were delivering in the 15 minutes that went off to nowhere is that basically we will get through this. This is a temporary time where they have turned up the attack, but they can't sustain it. And that's what Laura was explaining. The place that they draw their energy from is not a sustainable place. Whereas when you draw your energy from God and all that's good in the world, it can keep coming and keep coming. So even though we have had such a bashing today, honestly, the level of bashing that happened on my tech person, on Laura, on Chaz, on myself, it's been, you couldn't even put it in a movie and anyone would think it was real. They'd be like, no one gets attacked that much. No one has that much trouble. But we've had that trouble because we know how important it is. But guess what? We are here. And I can see Laura, and I can hear Laura, and Chaz can see us on PPN, and everyone can see us. So we did it, guys, And the thing is, if anyone wonders where did we get this knowledge from, obviously there's a million different answers to that from me and Laura. But one of the things I would say is that when the dark attacks us, instead of being a victim, we actually study what it's doing, why it's doing, how it did it, how it had the ability to do it, how many times can it do it, what's its maximum ability to do it, and can we actually prevent it, or should we just stand strong and hold strong through it, knowing that it can't persist for much longer? And that's what we do.
Wow, yes, that's it. That's right. Wow, you guys. Wow. Okay, so next week I look forward to how this will be super improved. Man, I feel the momentum. I'm just super grateful. Thanks, Amelia. I gotta move on to other things in the day because I know this took a lot, but do you want to wrap it up?
Yes, we did. Yeah. So what we'll do, guys, we will be back next Wednesday, and we will go really deep diving in. There was one question. This lady just says, are the timelines separating more quickly right now?
Well, I mean, it really depends on the individual. When you really need to have a boundary and move away from friends or family or jobs or just belief systems or things that are to you representing the old paradigm or something that you aren't a frequency match with anymore, you're going to move into a different direction. And if people don't honor that, it's going to be hard to be in relationship with them. But if they do honor that, I see that the split and bifurcation has bridges where there's still communication. There's still a chance to stay connected to those that we don't want to, leave behind. So when I see bifurcation, I see a lot of bridges and people still creating a lot of dialogue between this split in frequency. But I don't see it as being the same for everybody. But then there's the collective one that is, when you put it all together, what does it look like on a collective level? And that's a whole other thing. But I'll hand it over to you.
We'll go into it more next week. That was one that just managed to sneak in via Cara, so we got one in. But guys, isn't Laura amazing? I can't wait to do this every week with you, my darling. I know,
but where's did you have feedback on her question?
Say that again.
Were you gonna have some feedback on her question too?
Well, I was just going to say, I actually felt like I learned something. With the bridges thing, it just completely resonated. This idea, because what's happening is in my program, I have it where people are releasing toxic family members. And then we have people that are releasing toxic friends, but staying in touch with toxic family members, and we're teaching them how to do it. And I think that is part of this bridge building. And I never thought about it as a bridge that was built where you can maintain that love, you can maintain that contact, but it's done with boundaries, it's done with understanding,
Yes.
it's done with, there's a lot more to it. So I just feel like I love learning. And that was really, really amazing to understand that this technique I'm teaching is really a bridging technique, and that's excellent to know, because that's how we can hold this all together, and humanity can move through this together by teaching people how to create the bridging techniques, because we don't want a load of people just releasing family members. No, we don't want that. We want to be able to work out how we can stop things from hurting us while at the same time helping them to feel loved. And it's possible, it's doable, and we're going to break it all down, guys. There's so much to come. Love you, Laura.
Love you, Amelia. Love you, everybody. Thank you for hanging with us. Okay.
See you again soon, bye, guys.
See
Next
you next
Wednesday.
time.
Bye.
Bye.